Let me start with something that might sting a little. If a woman is ignoring you, it's not always because she doesn't care. Sometimes it's because she wants to see if you'll lose yourself trying to get her attention. I know, that's harsh, but you need to hear it. Women test men in ways they don't always admit out loud. Sometimes we ignore you because we're upset. Sometimes it's because we're genuinely busy. And yes, sometimes it's because we want to see if you'll start chasing harder. The problem is, a lot of men respond the wrong way. They panic. They text 10 times. They call. They over-explain. They basically hand over all their power. And once that happens, attraction goes downhill fast. Here's the truth. When a woman ignores you, your reaction matters more than whatever caused her to go quiet in the first place. If you respond with neediness, you lose respect. If you respond with anger, you look insecure. But if you respond with calmness, control, and confidence, suddenly the dynamic shifts. Think about it. Women are emotional creatures. We feel deeply, we overthink, and sometimes we'll pull back just to get clarity on how we actually feel about you. When you don't react desperately, when you stay grounded, it makes us curious, it makes us rethink, and honestly, it makes us feel like you're a man we can't easily shake. This is why I want to walk you through exactly how to act when a woman ignores you. Not what most guys do, not the mistakes that ruin attraction. I'm talking about the response that actually works, the one that makes her notice you in a whole new way. 1. Stay calm, don't chase her silence. The biggest mistake men make when a woman ignores them is overreacting. You notice she didn't reply to your text. Hours pass, and suddenly your mind starts racing. Did I say something wrong? Is she losing interest? Did she meet another guy? That spiral leads you straight to chasing, sending follow-up messages, calling, or even confronting her. But here's what you don't realize. From a woman's perspective, your reaction says more than your words ever could. When you instantly panic, it shows us you're not grounded. You're not in control of yourself. And whether we admit it or not, that makes you less attractive. Now let me flip it around. Imagine she ignores you, and instead of spiraling, you carry on with your day. You don't rush to text again. You don't start overthinking. You stay calm. That calmness communicates something powerful. You're not desperate. You're not dependent on her validation. You're centered in your own life. Do you know how rare that is? Most men crumble the moment they feel ignored. But the man who doesn't chase, he stands out. He makes us wonder, why isn't he trying harder? Why does he seem unbothered? That question alone plants a seed of curiosity. I'll give you a moment that explains it perfectly. A friend of mine admitted she ignored a guy's text on purpose, just to see if he'd chase. She told me, I expected him to double text. That's what most guys do, but when he didn't, she actually got irritated. She couldn't stop checking her phone, waiting for his reply. Finally, she texted him first, just to get his attention back. That's the shift I'm talking about. When you don't chase, her silence loses power. She realizes she's not controlling your emotions. Instead, she's the one wondering what's going on with you. So the next time a woman ignores you, remember this. Stay calm. Don't give her silence more weight than it deserves. The less you react, the more powerful your presence becomes in her mind. 2. Understand what her silence really means. Women don't ignore men for the exact same reason every time. That's why your reaction shouldn't be one size fits all. You have to understand the possible meanings behind her silence. Sometimes it's emotional. Maybe she's upset about something you said, but instead of confronting you directly, she pulls back to process. Women do this because silence feels safer than conflict. Other times, she's testing you. She wants to see how much you'll chase, how badly you need her. In her mind, if you start scrambling for her attention, She learns that she can control you emotionally. That's not something a man ever wants to hand over. There are also moments where silence has nothing to do with you. Maybe she's busy with work. Maybe she's distracted with family or personal stress. Or maybe she just doesn't feel like talking. Women, like men, have moods that shift. Her silence might not be rejection. It might just be her needing space. The key here is not to jump to conclusions. If you assume she's ignoring you because she doesn't like you anymore, you'll overreact. If you assume she's ignoring you just to test you, you might get defensive. Both of those responses kill attraction. What women respect is a man who doesn't let silence shake him. If she's ignoring you because she's upset, your calmness gives her space to come back. If she's ignoring you as a test, your lack of reaction shows her she can't control you. If she's ignoring you because she's genuinely busy, your patience proves you're secure in yourself. So instead of asking, "Why is she ignoring me?" shift the question to, "How can I carry myself no matter what her reason is?" That mindset keeps you in control, while her silence, whatever the meaning, eventually works in your favor. 3. Silence is power. Use it against her. One of the strongest moves a man can make when a woman ignores him is to meet her silence with silence. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but think about it. What she expects is for you to react, to chase, to demand answers. The moment you do that, you give away your power. But if you go quiet too, everything shifts. Here's why silence works. It unsettles her. When a woman ignores you, she often does it to get an emotional reaction out of you. If you don't give her that, she starts to question herself. Why isn't he chasing? Did he lose interest? Did I just push him away? That uncertainty starts to work in your favor. It protects your value. Silence communicates that you're not desperate, you're not needy, and you're not going to beg for her attention. It tells her you have standards. And a man with standards is always more attractive. It flips the dynamic. Instead of her being in control by withholding attention, now you've matched her energy. And suddenly she has to decide. Either she comes forward or she risks losing you completely. Here's how to do it correctly. Don't announce your silence. Don't say things like, "Fine, if you want to ignore me, I'll ignore you too." That's childish. You don't explain, you don't threaten, you just act. Stay consistent. If she ignores you for a few hours, don't immediately jump back in the moment she replies. Match her pace, keep it cool, and don't rush to reward her silence with instant attention. Use the time wisely. Work on yourself. Focus on your priorities. Build your life. When you're silent, it's not about waiting by the phone. It's about showing her and yourself that your life doesn't revolve around her. Here's what usually happens. The longer you stay calm and silent, the more curious she becomes. She starts checking your social media, rereading your old texts, wondering why you haven't cracked. And eventually, most women break the silence first. They'll text you something casual like, "Hey, what are you up to?" Or even throw in a subtle test to see if you still care. Now, this doesn't mean silence is a game. It's not about manipulation. It's about discipline. It's about showing that if a woman doesn't value your attention, you're strong enough to pull it away. And trust me, that's a message she'll never forget. Because when you master silence, you force her to face the reality. Men who value themselves don't chase women who disrespect their time. And that realization alone can flip the entire dynamic back in your favor. 4. When to pull back versus when to walk away. Every man needs to understand the difference between pulling back and walking away. These are two very different moves, and knowing which one to use can save you from wasting your energy on the wrong woman. Or on the other hand, Save a relationship that just needs a reset. Pulling back means you temporarily reduce your attention and energy. You're not cutting her off completely, but you're creating space. This is what you do when a woman ignores you lightly. Maybe she's slow to reply, distracted, or testing you. In this case, pulling back shows her you're not desperate, and you can live without constant validation. It's a subtle way of saying, I'm not chasing. I'll give you room to decide if you want to be here. Walking away is final. This is what you do when you realize her behavior isn't just a test, but a pattern. If she repeatedly disrespects you, ignores you, and doesn't value your presence, then the best response isn't to try harder. It's to remove yourself completely. Walking away isn't weakness. It's the highest form of self-respect. Here's how to know which one to use. Look for patterns. One ignored text is nothing. A week of hot and cold behavior, that's a pattern. Don't overreact to small things, but don't ignore consistency either. Check her investment. Is she putting in effort elsewhere? Calling you, planning to see you, showing interest in your life? If yes, she may just be busy or testing you. If not, she's checked out, and that's when walking away is smarter. Test her response. When you pull back, see how she reacts. If she starts reaching out, you know she still values you. If she doesn't, she was already gone, and you just saved yourself from wasting time. Here's the truth. Women test men to see where they stand. If you fail the test by chasing harder when she ignores you, you look weak. If you pass the test by pulling back, she'll respect you more. But if she's not testing and she's genuinely uninterested, then walking away is your only winning move. The biggest mistake men make is hanging on too long. They confuse a lack of interest for a test, and they keep pulling back, waiting, hoping. Don't do that. If a woman doesn't value you, nothing you do will fix it. But when you know how to pull back the right way, and when to walk away for good, you protect your dignity and keep your power. Because at the end of the day, your energy is your currency, and a wise man doesn't spend it where it's not appreciated. 5. Reclaiming control of the frame. One of the most overlooked aspects of dealing with a woman who ignores you is this. Who controls the frame of the relationship? The frame is the invisible dynamic that dictates who leads, who follows, and whose reality dominates the interaction. If she's ignoring you, she's trying to shift that frame in her favor. She wants to see if she can get you reacting, chasing, and adjusting your behavior around hers. Here's what most men do wrong. They surrender the frame immediately. She ignores a text, and they double text. She gives short replies, and they ask what's wrong. She doesn't make plans, and they try harder. Every one of those moves puts her in control. You're playing inside her frame, and once you give it up, she loses respect for you. So, how do you reclaim it? Stop seeking validation. The moment you start asking, "Did I do something wrong?" or "Are you mad at me?" you've already lost the frame. A man who knows his worth doesn't beg for reassurance. Match her investment, not her excuses. If she's giving little, you give little. If she's ignoring, you don't press. You mirror, not chase. This shifts the power back to you because you're no longer reacting emotionally. Recenter your focus. Instead of obsessing over her attention, shift the spotlight back to your life, your work, your goals, your hobbies. When you prioritize yourself, she feels the difference. That energy communicates, "I'm the prize, not you." Use silence as a weapon. Silence makes her question herself. If she's ignoring you to test you, your lack of reaction flips the script. Instead of you wondering what she's doing, she's now wondering why you're so calm, why you haven't broken, why you're not chasing. Reclaiming the frame isn't about playing games, it's about leadership. A woman feels most attracted when she can trust your strength. If ignoring you makes you unravel, she knows you're not solid. But if ignoring you makes you stand taller in your own frame, she sees a man she cannot control. And here's the twist. That's when she respects you more, and respect always fuels attraction. Never forget, whoever controls the frame controls the direction. If you want to deal with a woman ignoring you, your mission isn't just to respond, it's to reset the frame so that you lead and she follows. 6. Building scarcity and value. When a woman ignores you, the instinct most men have is to try and prove their worth to her. They over-explain, they chase harder, they make themselves too available. But here's the reality. Value isn't proven with words. It's demonstrated through scarcity. Think about it. Diamonds are valuable not because they're the most beautiful stones, but because they're rare. If they were lying around everywhere, nobody would care. The same is true with men. A man who is constantly available, always replying instantly, always waiting for her call, automatically loses value in her eyes. She thinks, if I can have him anytime I want, how special can he really be? So, if she's ignoring you, this is your chance to build scarcity and reset the balance. Pull back your attention. Attention is your most valuable currency. If she's ignoring you, stop rewarding her with constant texts, calls, or likes on her posts. Let her feel the absence of your energy. That silence becomes louder than any message you could send. Increase your options. Women can sense when a man is desperate versus when he has choices. If you're interacting with other women, focusing on your network, or simply living a busy life, your energy changes. You're no longer clinging to her attention because your world doesn't revolve around her. Invest in yourself. Scarcity isn't just about withholding. It's about becoming a man who's hard to access because he's genuinely building something valuable. Your career, your fitness, your lifestyle, your hobbies, all of this adds to your perceived value. When she sees that you're leveling up, she realizes she risks losing a man who's moving forward with or without her. Time matters. Don't always be the first to respond. Don't always be free when she finally decides to show interest. Being selective with your time forces her to recalibrate and see you as a man who values himself. Scarcity flips the dynamic completely. Instead of you chasing her, she starts to chase you because she feels you slipping out of her grasp. And this isn't manipulation. This is nature. Women are wired to desire men who stand out, men who aren't easily available, men who carry themselves like a prize. So when she ignores you, don't get emotional, don't beg, don't explain. Instead, step back, build your scarcity, and let your value rise. When she realizes she's not the center of your world, that's when her curiosity, respect, and attraction begin to return. 7. When to walk away for good. There comes a point where a woman's behavior is no longer about testing you or playing with attraction. It's about disrespect. And as a man, you need to know when to stop investing your time, your energy, and your emotions. Ignoring you repeatedly, stringing you along, or treating you like an option is a clear sign that she does not value you. At that point, the strongest move you can make is to walk away, permanently. Here's how you know it's time to let go. Consistent ignoring. If she ignores you not once, not twice, but repeatedly over time, it's no longer a test. She's showing you where you stand in her life. If you keep chasing, you're teaching her it's okay to disrespect you. One-sided investment. If you're always initiating, always planning, always carrying the weight of the interaction, and she never matches your energy, then you're not in a balanced connection. You're begging for scraps. And that's not who you want to be. Disrespectful behavior. If she ignores you, while clearly entertaining other men, showing you that she prioritizes them over you. That's your signal. You're not her priority, and that's fine. But the mistake men make is staying in that role, hoping she'll change. She won't. You feel drained. If her ignoring you constantly leaves you anxious, second-guessing yourself and doubting your worth, that's toxic. A woman you build with should add peace, not chaos. If it feels heavy, it's probably wrong. Walking away for good isn't about anger or revenge. It's about self-respect. You're not slamming the door. You're simply choosing not to waste time where you're not valued. And here's the beauty of it. When you walk away for good, you send the strongest message possible. You show her that her ignoring didn't break you. It only revealed her true place in your life. A man who can walk away is a man who can't be controlled. That's the ultimate power. Women respect it, men need it, and you deserve it. When a woman starts ignoring you, it's one of those moments that can either break you down or build you up as a man. Most men take the wrong path. They chase harder, beg for attention, or drown in overthinking. But the truth is, a woman ignoring you isn't the end of the story. It's a test, a shift in dynamics, and most importantly, an opportunity for you to show strength. You've now seen the psychology behind her behavior. Sometimes it's a test of your confidence. Sometimes it's her way of creating space. And other times it's a clear sign she's losing interest. No matter the reason, the answer is always the same. Respond with calmness, self-control, and unshakable self-respect. Don't overpursue, don't chase. Don't allow her silence to dictate your worth. Instead, use the space to your advantage. Focus on yourself. Let her feel your absence. And if she respects you, she'll come back stronger. If she doesn't, you'll have already moved on to better opportunities without wasting time. That's what separates men who struggle with women from men who thrive in dating and relationships. The ability to stand firm when tested. Remember this. Women may admire your looks, your success, or your charm, but what truly earns their respect is your ability to walk away when you're not valued. Attraction is built on respect, and the man who can stay calm, in control, and unattached to outcomes will always come out on top. That's how you win.